Our first boxing news today is our reaction to the Tank Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia fight. I'm gonna pass it to guy number one, man.
All right, guy number two. Let's
Mm.
talk about this fight. So, uh, the fight that we're talking about is the uh, Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia. The fight, when the time of this episode is being recorded, it took place last night, and man, we were having a lot of mixed uh, predictions for this fight. Well, at first it wasn't, but after the domestic abuse charges against Tank Davis, we kind of had like a little bit of a scare. I would say we thought that it would affect him a lot, and he'd get caught with like the wrong things here and there. So we were very scared going in because I mean, imagine being so close to the fight and then you get hit with the a domestic abuse charge. That is that is like one of the worst things that could happen, especially for your mental. Which, by the way, if you stick around with us, and if you go to our Anchor podcast, you can go ahead and hear our mental health tips. Slow plug in there, but the it the the interesting things that me and Mark found was that number one, his his approach to Hector was very interesting. There was not a lot of movement, like almost zero punches were thrown in the first round, and then like what do you call the way that Tank fought, it was almost I wouldn't say Cuban, like Cuban style of boxing is very little of waist movement, but dude, this was like Yoel Romero versus Israel Adesanya, where he just didn't move. Dude, Gervonta didn't move. He just had like his guard was very high and very even on both sides, and like he just almost like zero head movement. He just waited and played like the super counter game. And we were for like the like the next three, four, actually even the whole fight, we're like, what is Tank doing? He's not throwing as much. But then like these little things started like happening um here and there where he catches Hector with like really good shots, like hard hooks, hard overhands, like something like it's solid. Um and then so it started working, like, and then uh we were kind of scared that he was just staying still because of his ability to concentrate in the fight, but I guess it was just a plan, seeing as how Hector has longer reach and the higher height advantage. So maybe he didn't want to throw out as many jabs in the first place anyway. uh and maybe I guess that works for people like Tank, because his height's around like 5'6". I kind of understand where that's coming from. um but it worked. I mean, what round did he win? Was that round six? I can't quite
No,
remember.
he
Was
he
it
racked out. He technically won in round nine.
round nine?
Mm-hmm.
Round nine. Okay. And this and it was because of like the weirdest reason why he these shots started landing very good. It was, I guess it was so hard that Hector just said that he's blind. He said that he got blinded, that he can't see. And so I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mark, and I put out the road work for that. What did you think about the way that the whole fight ended? Let's start with that.
So initially, at the beginning of the fight, like Isaiah and I were talking about it. I was like, I believe this fight's not gonna go anywhere past five, and
Yeah.
pretty close to that. But both guys weren't throwing that much until round 6, 7, and 8, where Tank Davis really started coming up and started throwing and landing more. Because I think he finally caught on to Hector's head movement, his feints, and some of his small little mannerisms I saw when he's about to throw a punch. He likes to leave his right hand out extended, and which is easy for Tank Davis to just push his hand down and land a straight left down the down his face. But me personally, I was pretty irate of how it ended. One, there's you can get blind when you get punched, but you have to be punched directly in your eye, and your retina has to be detached, right? Not even anywhere close, to where you're like, you get punched and you're like, I'm temporarily blind, I can't see, dog. To me, that sounds like Hector Luis Garcia quit on the stool. He tried to use the excuse, I can't see. And it's funny enough, his corner didn't even try to get the doctor to look at his eye. They're like, all right, whatever you say, man. And threw the towel in. Because he knew he was going to get knocked out the next round. But I was like, don't use that. And it's horrible because I was like, this is so corny. Because during the post-fight interview, he was like, oh, now I can see. Yeah, it's just...
Okay. Let me hit you with this real quick, right? Before you move on, I just want to see your reaction to this article I found, right? Because I was curious. I was like, Mark, there's no way. I've seen heavyweights get domed by like their whole body, and they just get knocked out. They don't like lose their vision, right? So, like there's heavier. You're talking about like a super like light weight class. I'm not saying like people don't have their own challenges, right? Because like you can't really compare a Lomachenko to a Tyson Fury. That's not gonna work out. You gotta compare like equal weights, and there's a reason for that. But like I don't know, they're just so light that I can't. It's not like you're throwing a whole truck at them though. It's. So according to this article, right, it talks about optic pathway trauma. Optic pathway trauma consists of damage to the, I'm gonna say this wrong, chiasm.
Yes.
CHI. Is it chiasm?
Yes.
Or is it chiasm?
Yes.
It's chiasm. Chiasm.
Keep going.
Okay. Okay. Or the retrochiasmal visual pathway is common in head trauma. Patients with head trauma often have multiple and extensive intracranial lesions that may involve the optic pathways and result in various homonyms.
Keep going, Isaac.
Visual field defects or bilateral visual loss, cerebral blindness. So, in what way do you have to be in the head in order to cause blindness?
Dude, your entire skull has to cave in for that to happen.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Not only that, but again, like you said, there have been multiple people you see who get domed hard, bro. Pause. But they get hit hard in their head. And like they're completely fine. Like no scratch, nothing. They're like, I'm not going blind. Jesus help me. No. They just get back up and they go for it. Tyson Fury got hit so hard that he went to sleep for 4 seconds, dog. And he got back up. This guy got hit hard enough to where he's like, I know I'm going to get knocked out and I don't want to be made fun of. So I'm going to say I can't see. Not only that, his corner didn't even try to dispute and be like, "Hey, we wanted to get a doctor in here." No, he's like, "No, no, no, I can't see, man. I can't see." I was like, And then afterwards, that's such a fast recovery rate for it to happen like that, to where he's like, "Oh, now I can see, man. I can see clearly."
No, okay. So, what are you gonna say, right? I'm gonna prep for this, right? What are you gonna say to the people in the comments who say that um, Tank Davis just hits so hard, or he hits so hard that it caused blindness?
I'm just gonna say he doesn't cause blindness. He caused people to quit because that's what happened. It's again, I'm not disputing that Tank Davis can hit hard like he does, but what I'm disputing is that excuse. Just be honest with the people and say I quit on the stool, man. No shame in that either. Rather than saying I went blind, bro, man, like Jesus, it would come to Jesus moment where he hit me. And you know what? I understand why Tank Davis hit him really hard, because he posted a picture of him and Tank Davis, right, in their face off. And Tank Davis was wearing normal clothes, right? I think it was a hoodie and some jeans and something like that, right? And
Yeah.
he came in like a suit. He had a turtleneck, he had a blazer, he had nice pants on, right? And he posted and he put a caption, "I feel like I'm a lawyer standing around a bunch of hoodlums."
What? He said that?
Yeah, he posted that on his I think it was on his Instagram and on his Twitter. And hey man, if I was Tank, I'd be like, "Yeah, you think I'm a hoodlum? Bet I'm gonna dome you in the head right here, right now." Which, hey man, all I'm saying is I'm not disputing Tank hits hard. All I'm saying is the man made an excuse, going blind, rather than saying I quit. Because inevitably it looks like he's quitting, man. He took that L. Rather
He
than
just no mas dog. That's no mas Tank Davis right there.
Yeah.
No mas Shenko? No. No mas Tank. No mas Tank.
Yeah, so man, all I'm saying is, to me, this makes me feel that Tank Davis still has it, right? Maybe not in the fashion I wanted to see him do it in like under 5 rounds, but he still has a lot of tools he has in his kit that can give him victory against anyone or against people. And the thing I found interesting is his defense in this game. Normally he's not very centered around defense. He's more of an offensive fighter, but this time around I saw a little bit of his defensive game, and I think this in itself will help him in his next bout, which I hope is going to be the Ryan Garcia fight. But most importantly, guys, is tell us what you guys think about this fight. Was this fight rigged? Did Hector Luis quit? Did he go blind? Did Tank Davis really punch him enough to go temporarily blind in one eye? Let us know in the comments section below.